Let me share something here. So let me just pop this up before we move on to the next topic because I wanted to squeeze this in. But I think one of the things that Doug talks about is like being able to build more housing and get building starts happening. And my argument to that is that he really has not a lot to do with getting building going. I think the federal government has their program, and locally in the municipalities they have that. But really, building getting started has a lot to do with what the interest rate is and the cost of borrowing money, and then the cost of getting it constructed. So if you look at this along the right side is in reverse order the interest rates. So the higher the interest rates get, the lower the poor market conditions are for home builder sentiment. So, the higher it was when interest rates were super low and we were starting to build a lot of properties. Getting as the interest rate went up, that sentiment deteriorated. And if we're going to go forward, as you can see, into kind of 2025, 2026, if interest rates are kind of going to be in that mid range, there's the word mid, 4%, that's not like a super great area to like, oh, we got to build more housing because it's cheap. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was an interesting look. Because I guess where I'm going with this is that, yes, we can create the situation for home building. Infrastructure is important. It needs to be there to support these builders. But whether the builder decides to make private homes, detached homes for end users, is more to do with the cost of building and
definitely
less, so
and
if things
interest
get
rates
more
are
expensive,
one factor because there's a whole lot of other factors. When the cost of lumber went through the roof,
yeah,
and if these tariffs come into play, which it seems like in some capacity there are going to be tariffs come into play, it looks like it will be inflationary. It'll drive the cost of everything up. Which will potentially slow down building, even if interest rates plummet. To try to combat that, I think that there's going to be a real kind of feeling out. Sort of, we're going to have to see where the dust settles on this stuff, but it's not going to incentivize building if the cost of everything goes up around it.
And I can tell you right now, Donald Trump has not thought of who the premier is of Ontario one time. He does not care who it is. It's not going to stop him from, no matter who it is. We could have, I'm trying to think, whoever. I was thinking Mr. Dressup as our premier.
I love Mr.
Ontario
Dressup.
reference. Exactly. He could be our premier, and it just would not make a difference to whether or not we're going to get tariffs in Ontario. And can he battle that? So the cost of building will go up if there's tariffs, if mortgage rates are higher, if inflation in the US doesn't come down. All of these costs together will make things more expensive here in Canada, in Ontario, and that's not going to make a difference to get building, no matter what Doug does or says.
No.
So in my mind, I'm not electing Doug because he can fight Donald Trump. I want him to fix the things that people are worried about: cost of living, the shelter cost, and healthcare. If he's not able to really do anything about cost of housing, then I want him to fix our healthcare system because it's broken right now. So great that you're going to put $2 billion into infrastructure, but let's fix the things that we can fix because that's solely in his bandwidth.
Well, certainly the healthcare, definitely. Housing, I think I won't say it's a little less complicated or a little more complicated. There's a lot of bureaucracy that goes on there that I don't know how we lean that out. I'm not suggesting an Elon Musk style task force where you go slashing jobs. I absolutely hate the idea of taking people's employment away from them. I'll never support it. Maybe we can reallocate some resources. I don't have the expertise in how to do that efficiently. But if there's a government that could come in and reallocate resources so that we can improve healthcare, we can improve housing, that would be ideal.
we're putting money towards projects that, like, $1 billion for beer and corner stores. You tell me that $1 billion couldn't help out the healthcare system a little bit?
Is this what it costs, $1 billion to put
That's
beer in the gas
900
station?
million or something like that. And maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but it's hundreds of millions of dollars that costs to get it into a corner stores a year early.
Ridiculous.
Versus putting into housing, putting into healthcare, the things that people actually care about, and not just headline grabbing, I want to get reelected.
All right. Let's. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Deep
no,
breath.
I agree.